Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Fit Chicks Unfiltered. I am Ashley,
And I'm Callie.
and we are bodybuilders, and we are talking all things bodybuilding in today's episode. How are things going, girlfriend?
Things are going good. I am missing bodybuilding.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so this is going to give me all the FOMO today, but I love it because I'm going to go down memory lane and remember some of the things that I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that was an intense piece of it.
Yeah. We're like bodybuilders in our weird off season right now, I guess you could say. If you guys are longtime listeners, you already know the drill. Kelly's about to pop and I'm getting ready for a surgery. So, yeah, we're in this weird limbo right now, which I think a lot of people who bodybuild can relate to. When you're not actively prepping for a show, you're in this like liminal space, you know?
100%. Yeah. And it's kind of like it also really, really matters too. So it's like, how are you approaching the times when you are in a technical off season? And for
Yeah.
some people, an off season isn't just a season. Some people take years off. Some people take a year
Mm-hmm.
off. So
Yeah.
yeah, it is
A
what it is.
bodybuilder, yeah, a bodybuilder that I follow that's pretty well known in the community took 2 years off before she went back on stage.
I feel like
And
some
so,
of that has to be like wildly mental, right? Like I feel like sometimes people go into a season and they like are manifesting and visualizing these really big like things happening and maybe it doesn't work out. And that's
yeah,
really hard. And because you change your whole life walking or attempting to walk on stage or walking on different stages throughout your season. And if it doesn't go as planned or you're someone who's dead set on a pro card and it doesn't go as planned, like that's kind of a hard pill to swallow.
it's true. You know, I'm dead set on my pro card, and my coach has already been like, we got to give it time. She's already like planting the seeds that it may not happen in 2026. I could see that. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm taking things day by day and just checking off my boxes because I think right now, and both up for both of us, the space that we're in, we have to look at what's right ahead of us. Like you are about to add a little being to your family. That's what's right in front of you right now, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So
Regimen's going to change. Everything's going to change. Like,
yeah,
I'm going to be on call
yeah,
24/7.
yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I think this is a good segue into what we're talking about because like the idea that just kind of came to mind was bodybuilding really does teach you patience because whatever you thought was going to come, we are like in a world of instant gratification, we're very used to getting what we want right now. Think of like Amazon and Uber Eats and DoorDash, and even like getting movies on your TV immediately. And in the world of bodybuilding, sometimes it takes a hot second. It is incredibly, incredibly rare to step on stage even your first 5 times and get a pro card.
And for some people to even place or make first call outs,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
and to me, like, one thing that I always like to remind some of my posing clients when I'm prepping them is like, just stepping on the stage is a
is
huge
the win.
victory. That is a win. And if you go into it
It
thinking
is.
about that and like how many people just don't even make it to stage, they don't even make it to a prep, they don't even make it
Yeah,
through a prep, like,
yeah,
you'll feel like you've already won. And I get it. Like, it still doesn't feel good,
100%.
especially if you're super competitive. But
Yeah.
you have to go into it with the right state of mind.
I know when I did my first transformation show. So, friends, if you're like kind of new to us, I competed in transformation in summer shredding. It's out over in Texas. I remember like getting ready to go on stage and just exactly what you said, Callie. I just made it mine. I'm like, I have already won. This is me celebrating myself. And like that was the energy that I called in. And I ended up placing eighth out of like 56 fucking girls. Girls that had lost way more weight than me, that had their posing down better than me. Well, a lot of it was my stage presence, which we will be talking about today.
You
Stage
owned it.
presence is important. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. You owned it, Miss Second
Thanks.
Place. That's fucking amazing.
Thank you.
Um, I'm honestly not to tangent too much, but I am kind of thinking about going back to summer shredding in 2026, but for wellness.
Ooh, love that. I toy
Yeah,
with it too
yeah.
because I just feel like all the other shows are not the same vibe.
Yeah, I haven't brought it up to my coach yet because, like I said, we got to look at what's right in front of us. What's right in front of me is getting this surgery done and healing well and speedy recovery and all of that. But in an ideal, it's in the same time period that I want, like early fall. We'll see. It would be kind of like cool, right? To go
Yeah, and
back
I
there, but
also
now I'm in wellness.
oh, 100%. It would be huge, and I even think you could even enter into another
I
transformation
think I
and
could too.
wellness.
I think I could too.
And they have that new category out that I comeback class,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
which
yeah.
I really am intrigued by that for several reasons. But yeah,
hmm
I don't know. I once you get your pro card, I feel like I don't think you're allowed. You can't compete in summer shredding. So
No, I agree. No, I think you're 100% right. Everything kind of changes once you get your pro card. And so,
like you're just not allowed to.
yeah.
It's actually a requirement of theirs.
So if I want to do it, should we both just go back?
That would be fun. That would be fun for so many reasons. Nostalgia, just doing it all a second time, like experiencing it together again. That would be so much fun. Like when I went back for the
I know.
championships, I missed you so much. I was like, "Where's my girl?"
I'm planting the seed. If you want to do it again, I'm down.
Okay, okay, maybe
Are
we
you
do.
saying okay, you want to do it again, or are you saying okay, you will consider it?
I will. Oh, I want to do it again, and then I'm just
Okay.
thinking what shows are going to be happening around that time, and I need to think about how
Yeah.
this year is going to unfold.
And talk to your coach too.
Okay.
Because you are gonna have a new baby, and I don't want you to like, I don't know. I just don't know how all of that works. Like once the baby is out, what happens then?
They hand it to you, and you're like, "Oh my
Like, I don't know, like,
This is not
what, seriously, and then like you take the baby home and your body is gonna come back so quick. I remember my mom telling me that like after the first one, the body snaps back like, whoa. It's the babies after the first one where you kind of have a bit of a hiccup.
And then I think about too though, like, yes, I totally believe in that, and I know I've been putting in the work, and I know I've been doing all the things, but then I'm like, I'm also 36. How
So
old was your mom when she had her first baby?
she was 16.
Right? You know, so I'm like, the
I
body's
was the
so
first baby. But here's the thing though. Think about it though. Think about all the women you know that only have one. I immediately think about what is it? The woman that owns oh God, what is that supplement brand that Julia Renee is sponsored by? Oh, it's the name is on the tip of my tongue. I think she
Meg
goes by
lifts,
Meg Lifts.
Meg
Meg, yeah, I think Meg
squats.
Squats. Meg
Hmm.
Squats.
Yes,
She bounced
buff
back,
chick.
buff chick, and then Chrissy on her
Yeah.
active, her body bounced back.
Yes. Yes. No, you're
You
right.
know,
I think you're right.
I when I think about all the women that have had my cousin, she only has one. She got her body back. It did take her a fucking while though. But she also wasn't really into bodybuilding. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So she wasn't
Yeah.
like actively focusing on it, but she did get it back.
Okay. I'll hold on to those nuggets because I feel
Yeah.
like I feel like I'm chomping at the bit just to get back in the gym.
I know you are. I would be too if I were you. That is for damn sure. But baby steps, right? Baby steps. I'm chomping at the bit to have this surgery done. And I just keep telling myself, wait it out, girlfriend. Wait it out.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Yeah,
good.
because like you said, like once you get to that go point, like that's your baseline of where your body's going to be starting from. Like so what's the smartest move there
Yeah.
aesthetically?
One thing I need to do though is stop buying gym clothes because I was like wearing these shorts today and like when this tummy is gone, they're going to be too big. Not even a year old. Not even I've worn them 3 times. And
Yeah.
even now, I was just like, I gotta stop buying extra larges. Like we're between a medium and a large. We are not an extra large. Just
Mhm.
stop. So we're done buying gym clothes until like after this surgery for a hot second.
Yeah. I think that's
So
smart. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm pushing pause on everything. I'm like,
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Just
You
wait.
don't know what's going on exactly. But so friends, we have a fun episode for you, as you can tell by the title. We are talking about some harsh truths in the bodybuilding sphere specifically. If you are not a bodybuilder, fear not, little one. You are still going to get some amazing tea from this episode for
Mm-hmm.
sure. And we also have something special for you as well in the coming episodes. So make sure you're liking and subscribing and ringing the bell and all the sharing and all of the things.
Yes, please. And any type of rating. I think like Spotify, you can rate the podcast.
You can. You can.
Same with the Apple podcast. So any love makes us
Any and
love
all
you 10
love.
times more.
Exactly. Exactly. So, okay, so we're talking about 10 harsh truths that okay, so we're talking 10 brutal truths about bodybuilding nobody wants to admit. And this idea just kind of came to us in a conversation on the phone. Um the bodybuilding world, in my opinion, I feel like has a lot of mysticism around it. If you're not in it, it's like, what do they do? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and if you are in it or you're new to it, there's a lot of stuff that people may not necessarily tell you to your face. Remember, guys, on social media, we're seeing the curated pretty version. We're seeing the edited version on social media. We're not seeing the real stuff that actually goes down. What were you going to say,
Yeah.
Kelly?
Also, too, there's just like people who really want to do it and they haven't thought about all the details behind what it actually takes to do it. So I think
Yeah.
it's good to know not just like, because if someone were to ask me, I want to do a bodybuilding show, do you think I should? I'd be like, yes, because I love it. I love the sport of it. I think it's
Yeah.
amazing. I love being challenged. Like the hard bits of it suck, yeah, but choose your hard. And I'm very excited
Choose your
about
hard.
like the positive that comes from it. But with that
Yeah.
being said, like, unless I take the time to go down this road of like the hard truths, if someone might hear one of those and be like, well, dang, I don't know. I don't know if that's for me. So it's important to understand like the full gamut of the pros and the cons and like the things that are going to be trying potentially for someone versus someone else.
Agreed. I mean, I think everybody should go through a prep. I think it should be required to be human. It's so transformational in so many ways. But that's neither here nor there. Um, if you guys are curious about why I say that, let us know in the comments and maybe we can do an episode on that. Um, right? So let's talk. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first, Callie?
Why don't you go first and then I'll go. You why don't we
Okay.
do one at a time, like alternating?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Okay. So my first one, this might sting, especially if you're into bodybuilding and you follow it. The division you love may not be right for your body type. Right? So
That happened
listen,
to me.
yeah, and a judge told me once that it's about building into the division, right? So to give you guys background, the major divisions that everybody knows in women's bodybuilding, wellness, bikini, figure,
Figure.
fit model, it's newer. Um,
And we have
and
bodybuilding as well.
there's bodybuilding. Yeah, yeah. There's bodybuilding, physique, women's physique.
Hmm.
So, in all of these categories, the judges are looking for a specific um division of your muscle, essentially. How your muscle is formed, where you carry the most of your muscle, how it's coming out. They're just looking for a different proportions. Okay. So for example, for wellness, they want a bigger lower half, a smaller upper half, right? Most bikini is they're just smaller in general. And
They
so
want
if
more
you
of like a
love,
balance, like an X factor.
yeah,
Very
exactly.
symmetrical.
Symmetrical, and wellness is not symmetrical. That's why it's so hard to peak, right? And then women's bodybuilding, women's physique, those are some of the like bigger girls that you tend to associate with when you think of bodybuilding, right? Like if a person just walking on the street thinks of a female bodybuilder, they're probably imagining a physique that is kind of like that. But what a
Mm.
lot of people don't realize is bodybuilding doesn't all look like that, and it can be incredibly feminine. We did a whole episode on that, so that's neither here nor there. But my point being is you might really love like a Laura Lee or a Maureen, some of these major players in the bodybuilding sphere, and you want to do that, but then you realize I naturally carry most of my weight in my thighs, or I naturally can just get capped shoulders by just looking at a lat pull down machine or a shoulder
Mm.
press or whatever, And you might realize when you start coming into bodybuilding and training like a bodybuilder where you pack on muscle the easiest. And that is going to dictate really what category you should be in. And so for some of you that might be great, and for others of you that might kind of suck. And that did happen to you, Kelly. Why don't you talk a bit more about that? I kind of knew out the gate that I would be wellness, but that could change. Yeah, that could change. They could be like, "Girl, you fit better in women's figure." How would I feel about that? I would be crushed. And I'm not sure I'd bodybuild anymore, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah, it is a hard pill to swallow because the whole reason I
Yeah,
started paying attention is because I loved wellness. I loved the shape of
yeah,
wellness. I loved
mm-hmm,
the asymmetrical top to
mm-hmm,
bottom ratio. And then I realized, like, that's not how my body's built. Could I become that? Maybe. But I don't
yeah.
know. Like, my body lends itself to being more symmetrical, very balanced proportions between my shoulders and my hips. So, like, when I was told, well, no, you're going to be in bikini, I was like, okay,
Have
that's
you learned to
fine.
love bikini since
Yeah,
then? Like, yeah.
totally love it now, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm happy in bikini. If someone were to say like, "Hey, you could hop, skip, and jump and be in wellness," I would consider it. But I don't know. I do think it's smart for me to go where my body type lends itself. Like
Yeah.
why try to reinvent the wheel and change the natural, like the actual structure of my body? Um,
Yeah.
I think it would just be really hard. And any coach I've spoken to, they're like, "No, you're bikini." Like they're very out the gate with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. That makes total sense. And so I think when it comes to figuring out what your division is, a lot of people will say, well, we got to strip off the fat first. And one thing I have noticed about bodybuilders in general, non-bodybuilders tiptoe around the word fat. Bodybuilders use that word so casually. So like if you hear just like if it feels a little brute, it's you get used to it. Like
Yes.
nobody's calling you fat. It's just I don't know how to explain it, but have you noticed that since
I've
entering the
totally noticed
bodybuilding
it.
world? Yeah,
And
yeah,
also too,
they
like
don't
everyone
care.
in this space, they respect the love and appreciation for the human anatomy of the body.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
creepy. So like
right,
going up to someone
right.
who's not in bodybuilding and be like, dude, your glutes are just so amazing in that glute ham tie, like getting into the specifics of someone's
Mm-hmm.
butt and lower like where their hamstring and glute connects, they might be like,
Yeah.
uh, what did you just say to me? But in
Mm-hmm.
bodybuilding, it's like, please, like, go on. Like,
It's
I know you're
glorified.
not like, yeah, I know you're not like checking me out in a creepy way. This is like a very big compliment of the hard work I've put
Mm-hmm.
into developing a certain part of my physique.
Yeah, it's so true. Another bodybuilder that I work with, he's a male. We were talking about something, I can't remember, and he goes, "Well, you have big legs." And I was like, "Thank you so much." And like 16-year-old me would have been like, "Oh my God, he said I had big legs." In bodybuilding, that's what everybody wants. They want big legs,
Hmm.
and that is kind of, I think, too, a testament for you to decide, friend, if you want to give it a whirl. I know that for me, I just felt like this is home. As far as the way that my physique is built, my physique packs on muscle. It's a strong, sturdy physique. It was meant for this world, which is nice because it feels like you belong somewhere
Yeah.
versus,
I even look at your body, I'm
yeah,
like, wellness, 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 wellness. Like,
wellness
it
all day,
screams it.
right?
Yeah.
It screams wellness. I was sending it my check-ins on Monday and I was like, Jesus. Like I was like my back shot, just like, whoo! I know this girl is like so excited to get her hands on me when this tummy gets tucked. So Oh my goodness. And my doctor, not to transition too much, but guys, so I'm going to Dr. Graham in Rochester, New York, if you're curious. Check him out on Instagram. He just posted a mommy makeover, which is essentially what I'm getting, but I'm not a mommy. It's new titties, new tummy. This woman, like the scarring was like non-existent. And this is not the first transformation I've seen. He does great work. He loves doing those. And I'm just so excited. I'm mentally preparing for any sort of scarring that I get, but all of his work, they're just like, it's not happening. Ugh, I don't know how he does it. I'm so
Also,
excited.
with time, you can get like laser on scarring.
Yeah, that's what he said. There's laser options, and there's like, he gave me a whole pamphlet of different things that can be done for scarring that he really likes. And I'm just really taking care of my skin and prepping it now and all of that. So
You've got really
I'm
good skin
prone to
too.
scarring. Thank you. It's soft though. And so that's
My
what kind of
skin's like
worries me.
yours. It definitely it doesn't scar pretty. It like keloids.
Yeah, yeah. So, I'm just gonna keep taking care of it, and we'll see what happens. But okay, what's yours? What's yours? Your next
Okay,
one, number
my
two.
next one is going to be when you enter into a prep, you may be thinking like I'm going to do it. It's going to be, hard. I'm going to train hard. I'm going to eat right, but it's like
Rough.
so to the like 1 millionth degree of accuracy. So like if you're
Yeah.
struggling in lifestyle, make sure that you, when I say lifestyle, I mean like lifestyle training. Make sure you get your mind right because one drink, like alcoholic drink out with the girls, or one extra bite, like putting protein or peanut butter in your oats and then taking an extra bite for you. That's especially the deeper you get into prep. Like, that's
Everything
off the
counts.
table. Everything counts and it will
Yeah.
show, and your coach will see it.
Yeah.
And when you're standing on the stage, come stage day, like show day, you will feel it compared to everyone
Yeah.
else there.
Yeah.
And that's hard
I can't,
feeling.
it is hard. I can't wait to go through prep again just to do it better. And the thing about it, friends, when it comes to prep, right? Especially if you're going to go through your first prep, there's going to be mistakes. I made hella mistakes on my first prep. But I think prep is just such a way to see what you're made of. And even through the mistakes, you still make it through when you get there, which is why it's like, I'm ready to go again because now I know what to do and I know how
You've tasted
serious
it.
it is. I've tasted it and I know how serious it is. Um, if it sounds like we're being intense, it's because it is that intense. Like if it's 90 grams of whatever, then it's 90 grams of whatever. If it's this meal an hour before you train, it's this meal an hour before you train. And the reason why is because, whoever is coaching you, they're trying to get your physique to a specific point. And they can't do that without all the information. So when you go downstairs into the kitchen, like a little gremlin, you're like, Edit's gonna get a handful of almonds and go
Yeah.
back upstairs. That can be, we trick our brains, right? Into thinking it's just almonds. Like it's not a handful of like cookies, but almonds have a lot of fat.
Oh, they do. One extra bite of
Yeah.
even something on your plan, like it adds up. And I mean,
Yeah.
I even remember seeing too. After my first show, I think it was, there was a girl that was crying, and I was like, oh man, that makes me so sad for her. Like, why is she crying? And she was just expressing that one night she had had a bad night, and she just like ate a bunch of cookies,
She had a binge. Yeah.
and
I've
she
been
was
there.
regretting it. Like she was regretting it because she didn't place the way she wanted to. And that moment, months prior to that moment on stage, was eating her alive. And it's an extreme sport, and I know people probably
It
hear that and
is.
they're like, ooh, trigger warning, like that's scary. But at the same time, it's just like you even in prep start to have dreams about raiding your cabinets, you know?
Oh my
And it's
God.
not
Yeah.
because you're not eating a lot. You still are eating like 4 times a day, but it's
If you have
just,
a good coach, because I've heard some horror stories.
yeah. And I mean, peak week is crazy. Like times get crazy, but at the same time, like through most of your prep, it just gets very bare, and it gets very like you're truly
It's a good
tasting the
word.
flavor of the food, and it's redundant, and all you want is to just try something and taste something else.
Yeah. Yeah. Prep is rough, but there's a reason why we keep coming back. So hopefully we're not scaring you guys. Um, Like I
Yes.
said, I don't know. I like a challenge. I like a good competition. Prep is a competition with self. For me, I feel like it's like the ultimate competition with yourself because it really is you against you. Like nobody's
100%.
coming, yeah, like nobody's coming to fucking save you. If you don't do it, your coach still gets fucking paid, bro.
Yeah.
Like you don't do it, you wasted that money on that suit. You
Mm-hmm.
like
100%. And maybe
it's,
you're someone who's like doesn't care about being that granular, and you just want to step on stage and said you did it, and like, whatever.
cool.
It doesn't matter. Then cool, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. But I
Yeah.
mean, it depends on the level of intensity you want to bring, and if you're trying to show up the best that you can and compete, then that isn't an that isn't just the truth of it. It's an ugly truth.
It is. It is. It's true. It is true. So, okay. My next one, another spicy one. Genetics. Either you have them or you don't. So, after we did all of this talking about our diets and keeping them clean and all of that, we're going to talk about genetics and what we mean by that, right? So, I don't know about you, but genetics obviously play a huge role in bodybuilding. Huge. But I
Yeah.
feel like they play a bigger role at the pro level and above.
Yes.
Like,
I don't think you
yeah.
have to have it to do it because we've seen people do it and make it possible who don't have the genetics, but it's just not always not always that romantic if you
And
think about it that way.
no, no. And what do we mean by genetics? I mean, for example, the way I'm built versus the way Callie's built, right? Genetics play a huge role. All the women in my family have big, strong legs. That's just how we're built. Every single woman in my family could do wellness if they wanted to. None of them are built for bikini. Maybe cousin Jazz, maybe her, but even her, I don't know. I don't know. Um, it's genetics, right? So, you,
It's
what
fair.
about you?
I agree. I agree, especially when
Yeah,
it comes down to like what division you want to be in. Like that is
yeah,
genetics. Like
that's
you
really
have
what
it
I'm
or you
getting
don't.
at.
And I think too, like what's pretty cool is seeing some people who you wouldn't think would ever step foot on a bodybuilding show because maybe like their history and um, athletic performance over time, but then they like they completely change, and I think that's super cool to watch. Like
It
someone
is.
go from like taking that person in the past who was probably like I can't do this and then transform to like I can do this and I can step on stage. That level of work is extreme. But yeah, when it comes to genetics though and like your body shape and like what you were saying earlier, like you could look at a pair of dumbbells and your lats just like grow templed, and so like you're not
Hmm.
touching your arms or your quads are like overly they react. That all like really plays into it.
It's true, and sometimes our genetics come out. Like I'm sure you guys have heard of like developing an allergy. So here's where I'm going with this analogy. Stay with me. So like, you grow up no allergies at all. All of a sudden you have an allergy to peanut butter. You don't know where the fuck it came from. Now you're allergic. Sometimes your genetics can come out, kind of speaking to what you were just saying, Kelly, like this idea of thinking, oh, that's not really my thing. I don't do that. Maybe you start going to the gym, you start developing a love for it, you start building up your muscle, and then you start realizing, holy shit, I've got all of this under here that I didn't know I had. I didn't know I could build out my quads like this. I didn't know I could build up my glutes like this. I didn't know I could build up my back like this. Let's go for it. But those genetics were kind of buried deep down within. Maybe you're the first
Right.
person who started lifting heavy in your family and didn't know that,
Yes.
you
And
got good
mommy and
genetics
daddy
for it.
didn't look like that. So you think, oh,
Hmm.
it's not in my genetics, so you
Hmm.
you hardwire that in your head.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know, that is a hard truth, and it's a hard truth that is not really identified until I think a certain stage. And for some people, that could be when they've already been on multiple stages and realize maybe
Right.
their genetics just aren't cut out for it.
Yeah, and that can be a really hard truth. So, like, speaking into the future, that is a thing, where people compete and they devote their lives to competing. And then, they realize,
They're
I'm
never
just
going to
never
get the
going to place
glutes.
the, yeah, that's got to be tough.
But they could look wildly in shape and amazing. But when
Wildly
it
amazing.
the bodybuilding the whole thing is like judging the aesthetics down to the T of you against someone
Mm-hmm.
else, and someone else may genetically be more inclined with their glutes. I know I keep referencing the glutes, but I think it's a big part of female
Yeah,
bodybuilding. Um,
it is. It
mhm.
is. So, Okay. What's your next one?
My next one is posing. So that's something that I feel like I hear a lot of people take as an afterthought. And they think they're going to go on stage. They've worked so hard. They may have the best damn physique, you know, compared to other people. But if they don't understand their routine, they don't understand how stage, like the presence is going to work, how you're going to be moved around on stage, and then like just flow in general. That so another girl may be very close to you, but have better stage presence and posing and a routine down. And if you're in this for a competition, like they will take the cake over you.
Yeah, and friends, we're still very much getting to know our audience. So I imagine that you guys are at all different levels of fitness, and some of you bodybuild, some of you are here for weight loss, some of you are here for shits and giggles. So to give you a bit of background, understand that in bikini, there's a different type of posing than there is in wellness, than there is in physique, and so on and so forth. You have to learn a different criteria for each division. And that posing, I had no clue how hard posing was. Um, Guys, when I tell you, especially if you didn't listen to the podcast that I did on my bodybuilding experience, and I'm pretty sure I told you this too, Callie. After my very first show, I had another show about 2.5 weeks later, so I stayed in prep. After the show in Texas, my hip hurt like hell.
Oh yeah.
And first, yeah. And I was practicing posing every single day. I was really doing the damn thing, getting into it, but
It's a workout in
holding
itself.
it is a workout. Holding those poses like that, and then like you're like finagling your body to get to a specific point. It's an art form. And I think it's so beautiful, especially when done correctly and so elegant. And that is one of my goals for 2026 is to nail my posing. My hip hurt like hell for literally 6 weeks and my posing still needed work. I definitely flopped some stuff in both shows. And granted, I was new. Nobody was like, bitch, you suck. But when I watched it back, I was like, what are we doing, Ash? What's going on?
To be fair, I feel like everyone does that to themselves with their routine. Like every
Yeah.
single time that I competed, I was like, ah,
Yeah,
Kelly.
yeah,
But I think
yeah,
it's because like you get nervous too, and not
yeah.
everyone might see your nerves, but you're like feeling like you're shaking like a leaf.
I was shaking like a
But
leaf in my second show. Oh my
yes, and
God.
what's crazy is when you watch it back, you're like, oh, it wasn't shaking as
Yeah.
maybe I wasn't shaking as bad as it felt, but I know I was shaking because I felt it, but
Nobody
it
saw
didn't
me, but
appear. Yeah, so
I
you feel a
felt
little bit
it.
better.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, just to kind of mimic what you were saying, posing is super, super important. And I feel like people show their like reels of their finished and polished posing routine, but I don't think anybody really kind of documents what it takes to get there versus like a little bit of practicing here and there. I'm talking, let's bring it all the way back from ground zero all the way to show day.
Girl, my ground zero, and I recorded all of mine because my coach was in Dubai when I did this, but like my first show, oh, it's so painful to watch my first
Hmm.
like posing session after my first lesson. Like I
Hmm.
look like I have no flow, rhythm,
Yeah,
understanding of posing. Like it makes me
it's
cringe just
rough.
thinking about it. Yes, it's
Yeah, I
rough.
know what you mean. I know what you mean. And when it's done right, guys, posing is so beautiful. So like if any of you are thinking about competing, I highly suggest you don't even have to invest in a posing coach yet if it's not available for you financially, but start watching some posing videos on YouTube, or start studying them or like get the mandatories down, just start familiarizing yourself with it because your future self is going to thank you so much.
hmm And also too, to like the opposite side of that coin, be careful with that because when you start creating that muscle memory in your posing and your routine, and as soon as you get a coach, they're like, that's kind of wrong. You have to break that muscle memory and
Hmm.
bit. So if to Ashley's point, like if it's not feasible because it is an expensive sport as well, definitely familiar do what she said, like start familiarizing yourself with different routines of your division that you're going to go into and what mandatories you're going to be judged on and start playing around and see what you can do. But just don't
Yeah.
put it off too long because when you set those habits in place, they are ingrained in there.
They really are. Yeah, definitely don't put it off too long. That is for sure. Okay. My next one is, so this is probably going to come as a shock to a lot of you guys. Bodybuilding, it's less about lifting heavy. And so what I mean when I say this, right? When one thinks of a bodybuilder, they think I lift things up, I put them down, right? Like grr, arr, you know?
Yeah.
But bodybuilding is it's about the fine-tuned details of the muscle groups, right? It's
Yeah.
about yeah, like getting that glute ham tie-in. Yeah, it's about, carving out the quads. It's about carving out, the abs and that's what it's about. It's less about I think people, especially people who casual themselves at the gym, get powerlifting and bodybuilding confused.
Yes. Yes,
You
yes, yes.
know, we are
Totally
not
different things.
powerlifters. We are
No.
not powerlifters. We are not trying to one rep max anything. That's not how that goes.
No.
We are lifting with intention and lifting with purpose.
100%. I agree with you on that. And I think too, like, one thing that I'm excited about for the next time I step on stage is having that intentional off season. So like, yes, then I'm really focusing on surplus of food, like lifting very strategically, but
Strategically, yeah.
heavier.
Yes.
And then once you go into prep, like to everything you just said, it's going to be more hypertrophy based and reps based. And now you have this statue that you've built. Now it's time to chisel it and fine tune it and create pretty muscle. And through your prep and your calories start going down, you're more in a deficit, you're doing more cardio, you do not have the strength that you once did. You are merely surviving through the end days. And there's one phase of prep where I felt like I had center blocks for feet, like I was just like dragging my feet. Like, oh
Oh,
my gosh.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And that
yeah.
person's not going in and lifting the heaviest they've ever lifted. It's
No.
not totally not about that.
It's so true. And that is to say, you bring up a good point. Yes, we lift heavy. Bodybuilders can often lift heavy, but that's also because we're in the gym a lot. You know, we're working on our craft.
We
So
fuel
like
our body.
somebody, yeah, we fuel our body. So if we leg press a couple times a week, of course we're going to be able to leg press 5, 6, 7 plates versus the average person who can only do two, right? But what I want to say when it's less about lifting heavy is you don't have to be somebody who can naturally lift heavy to bodybuild. You can grow into that. We definitely practice progressive overload. We definitely want you to like work till failure a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But just because your till failure might be a certain number doesn't mean you're weak sauce or you are not worthy of bodybuilding, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's really what
And
I wanted to kind of get at.
yeah, that's totally true. And like ripping muscle fibers doesn't take one rep maxes. You can do
Right.
that in so many different ways, and that's how you build muscle.
Exactly.
So
Right.
that's a very good point.
Super true. So, and
Okay.
what's your next one?
All right. Two pairs of shoes. And by
What
shoes.
kind of shoes? Yeah, I'm the same thing.
Okay, so that actually, I just had something hit me. One, I also mean tennis shoes. At first, I just meant like the shoes that you're going to be wearing on stage,
Yeah.
but you're going to need multiple pairs of tennis shoes because
Oh,
all the
yeah.
cardio you're going to be doing and lifting, you're going to run through those shoes so fast. So, like,
And you also need
find
the
you a
right
good pair.
shoes.
You need the right shoes. So, you know, I'm not going to stay on that one long, but you are going to need multiple pairs of shoes in general. But when it comes to
Well,
show
also,
day,
well, I really quick before show day. Friends, it drives me up a wall when I see you guys hitting legs and some foamy ass Nikes, bro. Get yourself some flat shoes. Please do. I can't tell you how many clients are like, these lunges just feel so awkward. And I'm like, take your shoes off. They're like,
you
oh my
see you see
God.
their ankle like this.
Literally,
I
I
don't know
see
why they
them on
can't
the
stay
ball of their
balanced.
foot. Literally. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So just before we
Did you
move on
know
to show day shoes, like you want flat shoes. That's why you see a lot of people. It amazes me how many people still ask why I'm barefoot in some of my leg day videos. Like, guys, the reason
it's the
why
best
people like
way,
to go,
honestly.
it's the best way. Full on barefoot or socks is the best way to lift. And then like flat shoes is second best, third best or
With the
whatnot.
wide
But
toe box, which is why I liked Vans
yeah.
more than
Vans are great.
Converse.
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
because there's a
Converse is
wider toe
great.
box there.
Mm-hmm.
Because you do need. I try to like think about spreading my toes
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
are going into your lift, so you're truly balanced. Because otherwise, I have a naturally narrow foot. You can easily start to feel like you're favoring certain pieces of the foot.
Right. And I have a naturally wide foot. I was telling Callie earlier,
Built
friends,
for
I've
it,
got
girl.
oh my God, those old school wide ass feet, bro. Like barefoot. This is why I need my own private gym. I know I'd be talked about so much if I'd be around here in Rochester. Just that's the girl that lives with her toes out. So, but like, I'm telling you, it is a game changer. So if anybody's listening and you guys are noticing that when you're doing leg day movements and you are feeling off balance, check your shoes. That
Yeah.
could be a huge thing.
Don't be wearing hookahs to leg day. Is it hoka or hookah?
Yeah, hookah, hoka, whatever they are, I see them all the time,
Don't
bro.
be wearing those to leg day.
Oh, those are running shoes.
Yes.
Those shoes are built for runners. They're made for running.
Yes. Yes. Cool looking. Yeah. Uh-huh. I'll give you that. But at the same
Yeah,
time, like it's not understand the
yeah.
purpose. There
And
actually is a purpose.
exactly. And we just gave you some brands, Converse, Chucks, Vans,
My favorite
Nobles.
versatile nobles are great.
They're
My favorite
great.
like versatile one during prep was if I didn't want to bring two shoes was the New Balance 9060s because they are
Yeah,
naturally very wide. They
they
are so
are.
comfortable so I could do Stairmaster and I could still do
Yeah.
my leg day and
Yep.
feel very secure and spread my toes.
Yep.
That's the most
I have
versatile
those
shoe
too.
I think I've had.
They're great. I ordered a second pair and I waited for them for so long just for them to refund me my money because they ran out. I got the like dark gray charcoal ones. I was so excited.
I have
And then
those.
I'm
I love
like,
those.
dude, I'm like, maybe that's a sign that I don't need any more goddamn shoes. But I was irritated by it.
Maybe, but
And
shoes are
so
fun.
shoes are fun and you use them because I definitely, my 9060s are worn out for sure. I wear those
Mine
things
too.
often,
Yeah, I've got
often.
two pair that I
Yeah.
rotate between, but you can definitely tell which ones were the first pair. And I'm like,
Yeah,
all right, it's about
yep.
time to get
It's
mama a new
time.
pair of shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my birthday and Christmas is coming up, so maybe I'll put a buzz in people's ear. And so,
Yeah, that's a great idea.
right,
And so,
right. Oh, so shoes. Okay, so show day shoes though. That's what we were talking about.
but the real reason I wrote shoes
Yes.
was show day shoes. So your heels. I thought I had a pair right next to me, but I don't. Um, get two because I rolled the dice and I only had one. I think I got compact, Kompak. Sorry, I've got indigestion. But Shoe Fairy is a very popular brand as well that a lot of people get. I have had multiple posing clients whose shoe, like the actual strap, like the plastic piece of it, disconnects like the week of their show from different brands. So, not that you're, and it's not hating on the brand, it's just you're practicing in them all the time. You're wearing socks in them as well, which looks goofy, but it allows your foot not to get tore up. And when you do that, it will allow your foot to like kind of make its way
Settle
through the
in.
shoe. Yeah. And then also too, after like a whole prep season of practicing in your heels and then you step on stage, it's kind of nice to have a fresh pair, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I definitely think you should get two pair, especially if like you're gonna be competing for a while. If you were like, this is a one and done situation, okay, cool, bro. But if you think, I might get the itch, or you can tell that you're getting the itch, like start off with one pair. And if you're getting the itch, you're realizing that you're loving the sport, that you want to see what you got, maybe invest in a second.
Yeah, and it's like I said, I chose to roll the dice the first time, but I've seen one too many shoes pop. And at first, someone told me to get two pairs, and I didn't think twice about it. I was like, okay, that doesn't make sense. Why? But now with time, I've been like, I've seen week of people's shoes pop, and then they go into like panic mode of like, holy crap, I've got to order new shoes. They've got to get here on time.
And you got to
So
break them in.
yeah, just like
Yeah.
mentally, it's better for you to have two.
Yeah.
But
Super
budget
true.
wise, it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You might not want to spend the money, but like if you're already spending all the money for all of this, like, you're spending the money for your coach, you're spending the money on your supplements, you're spending the money on your hair, your makeup, you're spending money on your flight if you have to travel, like you're spending the money on your suit, just get a second pair, better safe than sorry, especially like if you don't have a common shoe size, you know? Like
Mm.
if you're not like an 8 or something like that, if you're like a 10 or like a 6, you may want to get a second pair cuz what if somebody doesn't have a second pair? I don't know. I'm a prepare person. So,
I am too. I'd rather have like peace in my mind because I can
yeah,
hyper
same.
focus on things and then only think about that. And I can imagine
Same.
if it was like backstage and one of them went pop and then I'm like, ah,
I
I
would
would
lose
die
it.
right there.
I would lose it. Lose it, lose it,
Yeah.
lose it. Okay. My next one is, but we're almost there, friends. My next one is that bodybuilding is extremely aesthetic, right? And so when we titled this, right, 10 harsh truths about bodybuilding. Well, yeah, it's aesthetic. No, friends. It's very aesthetic. I don't think it really I don't think it really resonated with me until probably about 6 weeks before show day that I was stepping on stage. No, it was when my suit came. When my suit came and I put my suit on and I was like, holy shit. Like, this is a tiny, tiny little bikini, and I'm going to go on stage and ask these judges to judge how I look in it.
Yeah,
That's
you're so
real.
vulnerable. You feel so
You're
vulnerable.
so vulnerable. And, I think on the outside looking in, when you look at, people's, again, perfectly curated prep experience or their bodybuilding show experience or them and their trophy and their tan, it can look very glamorizing. But I think what a lot of people neglect to really tell you or say is like, this is a very aesthetic sport. It's about how you look, right? And the package that you're bringing. And, I think it's important to be very direct and upfront with people as they come into this space because there is an uptick in bodybuilding. People are really gravitating towards the sport these days for whatever reason. And I think it's just important to note that you are asking 4 or 5 or 6 judges to judge how you look.
And remember too, while there is like a protocol to each division and things they are
Hmm.
looking for, it is subjective. These are humans
It is
judging
subjective.
humans. And I think
Yeah.
the hard truth in that is that if you are not strong mentally, be careful because you
Yeah.
can be playing with fire in the
Hmm.
sense that it can create potentially and I hate being this upfront, but potentially an
An
eating
ED?
disorder. Yeah,
Yeah.
or could actually make you feel not worthy. But the thing is,
Hmm.
if you zoom out, you remember like this is a sport. This is something that takes tons of courage and discipline and self-integrity and keeping promises that you make to
Hmm.
yourself just to do it. You are winning just by trying. So like you have to have that strong mental fortitude to continue to remind yourself and like in those moments where you feel shaky, like just go back to the sobering reality that one, it's just a sport, and two, you're doing something really cool regardless if you win or lose or whatever.
Because remember, the win is stepping on stage.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
Or
Super
even having
true.
the courage to try. Like there's
Yeah,
so many things that so many people won't even touch with a 10-foot pole.
exactly.
So yeah, just make sure you like to your what your whole point is like if you don't have a strong mindset, like maybe it's not for you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, cool. How many more you got, Kelly?
I've got
2 more?
two, yeah.
Okay,
And
perfect. So,
I
yeah,
can
you
make
can
mine
go
kind
first.
of fast.
Okay, let's go for it.
Because both of these kind of tick the box of some other. One of them is don't skip the cardio or the reps. Same thing with the
Yeah.
food is applicable to the actual routine. If you're going and your coach says 45 minutes of cardio or X amount of calories, however they're judging you with that, or the criteria they set, do it like the exact amount. You're not going to feel like it. And how I also said like at the end, you're going to have concrete feet fields and all these different things that make your motivation fly faster than you've ever seen
Mm-hmm.
out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Just remember, like, just do it, show up. And in lifestyle, it's like consistency looks like this. Well, for stage, you need consistency to look like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's different, totally different, and that is the hard truth. There's not so much grace. You've just got to suck up and know what you signed up to do and go for it.
Exactly. So true. So true. Um, my last one is Social media related. Everybody loves you when you're ripped. And that is to say, a harsh truth about bodybuilding that nobody really wants to talk about is how, like, when you are in the best shape of your life and prep and bodybuilding and you hit stage, everything goes up. Your engagement goes up, your story views go up, your followers go up, everything goes up. Everybody's singing your praises. But
Yes.
then, yeah, but then, you get off show day because, again, friends, nobody should be as tiny as you are on show day, especially
No,
for like a mainstream division. The body does not want to be that tiny, and it is natural
not
to gain
healthy.
weight after. It's not healthy, right? You want to gain weight after show day. So when all of the glitz and the glamour fades, everything starts to go back down. And
Yes.
everybody, and nobody cares anymore. And
No.
that can be a harsh blow to your ego, right? On either end, because you're like, holy shit, where were you guys when I was just over here didn't that, and now you guys are here singing my praises, saying how amazing I look. Like sometimes as somebody who's lost a lot of weight, I feel that way. And first of all, thank you all for all the love. I love all the love that I get, but there are moments that I'm like, damn, thank you, but like, didn't you guys love me before?
Yeah.
And now, like, didn't I look good before? Like, and I think in bodybuilding, it's the same way, just in a different sort of sentiment, right? If you've lost a lot of weight or gotten in really great shape or, won a huge marathon or anything like that, it's this high that you ride and the world sees it. And then when that high comes down, you're like, wait a second.
You fall hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do. And it is crazy because when you're going into a show, engagement, everything is so much better, especially if you're like on Instagram or TikTok for a reason, like with purpose,
Like
not just like,
for work.
yeah,
Exactly.
like a business or
Yeah.
if like you're a personality online. So it can feel, once again, you got to have a hard mental, like very
Mm-hmm.
confident in your mental because you'll even see bodybuilders out there who actually only post when they're completely ripped. Yeah. And it's like, okay. And that's one of the things I try to do, at least with my page, is post like all sides of me, which feels painful at
Yeah.
times. It feels painful
Yeah.
at times. And I'm working
Uh,
on that. But I also, it makes
yeah.
me love myself, because I know like this is the phase of it. It's important to be honest. It's important to be transparent. It's important to have other women see that it isn't just stage physique all the time because like we said, it's not healthy. It's not what you are doing to your body
Yeah.
on the time you step on stage, and how you're treating it and how you're eating is not sustainable or healthy at all.
Yeah, no, it's so true. It's so true. And I feel you when you say that. Like, I don't always want to post my before and afters. Like sometimes I'm good on that.
Yeah.
I don't want to see myself dying on a goddamn bike 137 pounds heavier. Like I don't really want to see that all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
But like you said, it is important just to know what you can do when you really do put your mind to something, and also the ebbs and flows of life, right?
Yeah.
Social media can be a pressure cooker, especially if you do work on social media, because if you work on social media, most of us, reach is one of our objectives here, right? And that's just the name of the game. And so when you look at your content, you're also looking at what is gaining the most reach. And as unfortunate as it might be, transformations gain a lot of reach and beautiful bodies gain a lot of reach. And so when you're working with those two subjects, or hate, as unfortunate as that is, but if you don't want to
Yeah.
dabble into the hate, you don't really have a lot of places to go, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It just kind of is what it is.
It is just the truth of the matter, and it
Yeah.
once again, to bring it up, the harsh truth.
Yeah, and you just have to know that going into it, right? You're going to get in the best shape of your life, sure. And as long as you're doing this for you, that is great. And enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. Post the reels, post the content. If you work online, create a program while you're doing this, gain some new traction. Just be aware that, what goes up does have to come down. And you may experience periods where your engagement was through the roof. You're seeing numbers that you've never seen before. And then all of a sudden you're not, and you're confused as to why. It's the culture.
It's emotional. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
mean, also, once again, I know I keep bringing up the mental, but make sure you're spending time working on your mental and
Yes. And
really
not seeking
getting not,
validation online.
yes, not just getting strong in the gym, but getting strong in your mind. Because
Hmm.
if you start to lean into what you just said, like beautiful bodies,
Hmm.
transformations, like
Hmm.
that accolade of what is loved and deemed as
Right.
validation, you can
Right.
you can accidentally trip and fall into thinking that's what you have to be loved and
Yes.
validated, and that is
Exactly.
not the truth.
No, no. And that is another way how you can develop a really piss poor relationship with food in your body, you know?
Yeah,
And people say that bodybuilding, like you can develop an ED. Where can you not? We live in America. I mean, the
you're damned
majority of
if you do, damned if you
Americans,
don't.
yeah, the majority of Americans have EDs on either end, right? Like
Yeah,
our food is here to kill us. Don't even get me started on that. We will not
yeah,
go there today. But my
no,
point being is to speak to what you're saying, Kelly. This comes down to you developing a strong sense of who you are, no matter what it is you do. Because that
yeah.
is what's going to get you through to the next version of who you're becoming and your higher self. Like that's what's going to bring it all together. Um, no matter what you end up doing, you know?
That's yeah, that's a great one. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because if you're stepping into this, like, and to me, once again, to rephrase it to the hard truth of this is like, if you're trying to do a show because you want to develop this sick body and be
Yeah.
on that, like, it's just that result of what you're seeing when people are on the stage, you are going to have a really hard time when you go into a reverse diet and then
Whew.
trying to get into a surplus and navigating all of that. Like, that is not, you really need to do a deep dive on why you want to do a show, why you want to be in the
Yeah.
sport.
Yeah. 100%. Super true. Super true. Did we get both of yours or do you have one more?
I do have one more, but I kind of like ending on yours. Mine was just talking about, like,
Okay.
once again, stage presence
Okay.
is a hard truth because you do need to make sure that you are, one, picking the right bikini, the right colors, the glam, all the things, which can also play into what you just said. You feel so glamorous as you step on the stage. You've got your hair done, your nails done, this
Yeah.
beautiful bedazzled bikini, your makeup done, and then the pictures to prove, like, this is what I did, this is what I built. So the comparison is the thief of joy here, even with your own self. So if you, in your transition of then going back into a reverse and into a surplus, and then you go back to your stage pictures, that also is kind of
Yeah.
hard.
It is. It is. And just to speak a little bit too on the bikini situation, your bikini color is not your favorite color. So I'm
Mm-mm.
gonna burst everybody's bubble with that. It's the color that is gonna look the best, A, on your complexion, and B, with the lighting of the stage, if you figure out that information. So a color that's
Yep.
gonna look great on Callie might not look great on me because we are different complexions.
Right.
Um, so that is just really important. The stage presence, that it's the whole package.
Package.
Yeah, yeah.
The whole
So
package.
yeah, yeah. I hope this helped you guys. This is a lot of information in this episode here.
It
So let
is.
us know. Yeah, let us know what you thought about it. Let us know if you want us to elaborate on any of these topics or if you have any questions at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if you're someone also who's thinking about doing a show, and you have questions, maybe something that we didn't touch on, or you're like,
Yeah,
hey, I'm concerned about this because of this. Like, obviously, we can give you our best opinion based on the
yeah,
experience that we have, but please don't be shy. Like, that's the beauty of all of this is like when, and that's to bring up summer shredding again. That's why I loved that show so much, is because a sense of community. And like in this sport, I think it's so important to have a sense of community and people you can talk to and share honest and real opinions, and not make it so like brash against each other. If you're not,
mm-hmm.
with me or against me, I think we all need to support each other. So any questions, any things that are like bogging your mind down, drop us a comment. Find us
Yeah,
on IG. Send us a
yeah,
message. We're here for
exactly.
it.
And we're always rooting for you. So take what you want from this episode and leave the rest and keep on keeping on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, we'll see you in the next one, friends. Bye.
Bye.